Before you write a single line of code for the army, one thing decides your fate, not your typing speed. A security clearance. The cyber force runs on a top-secret SCI clearance. And here is the part the recruiter office never volunteers up front. There are 3 completely different doors into Army Cyber, and the one you should walk through depends on who you already are today.
This is Professor Erica, and that framing is exactly right. The 3 doors are enlisted, warrant officer, and commissioned officer. People burn years applying to the wrong one because nobody drew them the map.
And the gate itself is built from 3 things: your background, your finances, and your drug history. Cyber soldiers touch the most sensitive networks the nation runs, so the background check is not a formality. It is the real interview.
Lewis here. I will add one quiet truth. The Army has run this experiment for a decade now. A clean record beats a perfect score every time the board has to choose.
Hi everyone, I am Isabella. Picture 2 applicants. One aces every test but left a trail of unpaid debt and an old drug charge, while the other is solid and squeaky clean. The clean one gets the badge.
So let me show you the actual cyber branch, because most people have never even seen it.
It became its own branch in 2017, which is young for the Army. That is the United States Army Cyber Corps insignia. An upright sword for the soldier, crossed by 2 lightning bolts for the electronic and cyber domain.
A sword and lightning. Honest heraldry for once. Isabella, you have been holding the question every viewer is silently asking. Go ahead.
Yes, and it is a little scary when people ask it. Here it is, word for word. Can I even get a clearance with my past?
Hold that fear, because we answer it honestly later, including the one clearance mistake that quietly sinks the most people. Coming up, the 3 doors side by side, the exact enlisted pipeline, and the civilian shortcut almost nobody knows exists. First, the map, so you can see which door is yours. 3 front doors lead to the same force, and they could not be more different in who they want. Let me lay all 3 side by side so the choice stops feeling like a fog.
Here are the 3 columns. Enlisted as a 17C Cyber Operations Specialist, Warrant Officer as a 170A Cyber Warfare Technician, and Commissioned Officer in the 17A Cyber Branch.
Read the top row first. Enlisted fits the person starting from 0. Warrant fits the seasoned technical sergeant. Officer fits the one who leads and usually holds a degree.
Now the middle row, the one that surprises people. Time to join. Enlisted is the fastest door from a standing start. Warrant means you serve for years first, and officer is the longest runway of all.
And the bottom row is what you actually do all day. Enlisted is hands on the keys. Warrant is the technical authority everyone asks. Erica, pose the question this whole table really turns on.
Gladly, and it is the honest fork. None of these doors is better than the others. They are different lives. So which row matters most to you? The speed, the work, or the leadership?
For most people watching with no service yet, the honest answer is speed, and that points at the first column. But the officer door is the slowest one and the highest ceiling, so do not skip it just because it takes longer.
Here is the honest trade-off nobody puts on a recruiting poster. The enlisted door gets a sharp 18-year-old onto a keyboard within a year. The warrant and officer doors ask for a degree or years of service first, but they pay far more and carry real authority.
So hold the whole thing in one phrase. Faster in, or further up. The longer doors can land you a far higher rank and a far better paycheck.
And money follows that trade. An enlisted soldier starts at junior pay, a warrant officer earns specialist pay for a whole technical career, and a captain commissioned straight in starts well above both. The longer door buys a bigger paycheck.
Faster in, or further up. Keep that phrase in your pocket. Now let me turn the whole thing into a decision you can actually run on yourself. Let me pause for just a second, because this genuinely helps. If you are getting value here, hit that like button, then subscribe and ring the bell. It costs you nothing, and it is the single biggest thing that keeps these videos coming.
3 honest questions sort almost everyone watching into a door, and your real answers, not your wishes, decide which one. Let me make this concrete and stop the abstraction.
Start at the top. Do you already hold a bachelor's degree? If yes, the officer door, 17A, is wide open to you through Officer Candidate School. If no, keep dropping down.
If you have no degree, the next question. Are you already a serving non-commissioned officer with real cyber or technical time? If yes, the Warrant door, 170A, is built for you.
And if you are starting fresh, no degree, no uniform yet, you land on the Enlisted Door, 17C. That is not the consolation prize. That is the fastest hands-on keyboard job in the whole force.
One honest exception lives off to the side of this tree. A civilian expert with deep cyber skill can leap straight to officer, or even straight to warrant, with no prior service at all. We cover that special door soon.
That side door exists for a blunt reason. The Army cannot grow a senior cyber expert overnight, and the private sector pays better. So it built a lane to recruit proven talent directly, rather than wait a decade for someone to climb the normal way.
So 3 questions sort almost everyone watching. Degree sends you to officer. Experience sends you to warrant. A clean start sends you to enlisted, the fastest way in.
And every one of those doors still ends at the same locked gate, the clearance. Hold that thought.
One honest word of mentoring on this tree. Your answer today is not permanent. Enlist now, earn the degree on the Army's dime, and you can walk back to this tree in a few years and take the officer branch instead.
That is the part people miss. These doors are not a one-time choice. Let me take you through the most common one first. The door a teenager with no degree can knock on tomorrow morning. The Enlisted Door is 17C, Cyber Operations Specialist, and it asks for a sharp mind more than a strong back. There is a sister job too, 17E, the Electromagnetic Warfare Specialist.
The aptitude gate is concrete. On the ASVAB, you need a general technical line score of 110 and a skilled technical score of 112. Those are well above the Army's average floor.
Picture Specialist Reyes, an 18-year-old who scored a 115 and walked in clean, smart. No debt, no record. That profile is exactly what the cyber field is hunting.
And the timing trips people up. The clearance investigation can take many months, sometimes most of a year. So Reyes starts that paperwork early, because the school seat is waiting on the clearance, not the other way around. Now here is the part nobody warns you about. The school is long. Let me walk the actual pipeline, step by step, the way Reyes would live it.
First, pass that ASVAB gate. Second, start the clearance because you need a top secret SCI to even be awarded the job. Third, sign the 17C contract.
Fourth, 10 weeks of basic combat training because a cyber soldier is still a soldier. Fifth, the long schoolhouse, roughly 25 weeks in Florida, then about 20 weeks in Georgia.
Add it up and it is almost a full year of training after basic before Reyes ever reaches a real unit. That Georgia phase happens at the Army Cyber School. Let me show you where that actually is.
That is Fort Gordon, just southwest of Augusta, Georgia, and the name itself is a trap, so listen closely.
This post was Fort Gordon, then renamed Fort Eisenhower in 2023, then reverted back to Fort Gordon in 2025. Today it honors a Medal of Honor recipient, Master Sergeant Gary Gordon. Lewis, read out the worry that keeps landing in our inbox about this school.
Right here, and we hear it a lot. The question, word for word, is this. Is the 17C school really that hard to get into?
Honestly, yes. The scores screen you in, the clearance screens you out, and the washout in school is real. But on the other side is one of the most marketable skill sets in the country.
And do not overlook the sister job, 17E, the Electromagnetic Warfare Specialist. It lives in the same career field, fights in the radio and signal spectrum instead of the network, and it can be an easier first door if the cyber seats are full.
And the job itself is real cyber work, not a desk of paperwork. A 17C runs both defensive and offensive cyberspace operations. You protect Army networks, and when ordered, you maneuver against an adversaries. That is why the clearance bar sits so high.
And here is the badge those soldiers wear. Take a good look.
That is the United States Army Cyber Command shoulder patch. 3 gold swords standing over the globe, with a lightning bolt cutting through. Earn the 17C, and that is the formation you can end up serving in.
Now the 2 longer doors, and the surprising shortcut hiding between them. The warrant door, then the officer door, then the lane that lets a civilian skip the line entirely.
The warrant door is 170A, the cyber warfare technician. The board wants a proven sergeant. Think 3 years of rated cyber or technical time, an associate degree or higher, and a clearance already in hand.
Let me lay the actual packet out in order because the sequence trips people up. First the clearance, already adjudicated. Then the general technical score of 110 or higher. Then the associate degree.
Then you graduate the advanced leader course and the detail that quietly decides packets. A letter of recommendation from a senior cyber warrant officer. The board is asking whether the warrant community already vouches for you.
Think of the warrant as the Army's deep specialist. While officers rotate through command jobs, the 170A stays in the technical lane for a whole career. They are the expert the colonel calls when the network is under attack at 2 in the morning. The officer door is 17A, the cyber branch. You reach it through West Point, through ROTC at a regular college, or through Officer Candidate School, a 12-week course for people who already finished a degree.
Each officer route fits a different life. West Point is the 4-year academy for a teenager aiming at a full career. ROTC lets you commission while finishing any major at a normal college. Officer Candidate School is the fast lane for someone who already has the degree and wants in now.
And what the officer board weighs is not just your transcript, it is leadership, physical fitness, and moral character. The cyber branch is young and short-staffed, so a strong technical candidate stands out fast.
But here is the door that breaks the usual rules. The Army Cyber Direct Commissioning Program. A civilian with serious cyber expertise can be commissioned straight in, no years of service first.
And not at the bottom. Most direct commission cyber officers pin on as a captain or a major, based on their experience. You must be a citizen, hold at least a bachelor's degree, and be able to earn that top secret SCI clearance.
And one more rare fact that warrant recruiters love. 170A is one of only 2 warrant jobs in the whole Army that takes a civilian directly with no prior service. The other is flying helicopters.
There is a real trade-off to name here, in the spirit of honest advice. Direct commissioning gets you in fast and high, but you skip the years of troop leadership your peers earned. Some commanders quietly weigh that, so go in ready to prove you can lead, not just engineer.
This is exactly the kind of thing people get wrong online. So let me bring in someone who knows clearances and cyber hiring cold. May, can we call our expert?
Calling her now. Dana, are you on the line?
I am here, happy to help. The biggest myth I hear is that a civilian coder has to enlist first. Not true.
Dana, what trips up the strong civilian applicant most often?
The clearance almost every time. The skills are there, but an old financial mess or a recent drug history stalls the whole thing.
So what is the one move you would tell that applicant to make first?
Clean up the background a full year before you ever apply. Thanks for having me on, and good luck to everyone weighing the jump.
That matches everything we have seen. Thank you, Dana. The gate is never the code. The gate is the clearance.
So which gates matter most, and in what order? Let me rank them, because people obsess over the wrong one. Every door ends at the same 4 gates, and people fixate on the least important one. Let me rank what every board actually wants, from the top down.
On top, the clearance. Eligibility for that top secret SCI. Below it, aptitude, the scores and the technical brain. Then skills and certifications. And at the base, attitude, the discipline to finish.
The clearance sits on top for a hard reason. It is the gate that quietly fails the most people. Ongoing drug use is nearly an automatic no. Marijuana still counts federally, even where your state says it is fine.
And money is the silent killer of clearances. Unpaid debts and a messy financial record are one of the most common reasons a clearance gets denied. Not a crime, just chaos.
Picture the screening as a narrowing funnel. Everyone applies. Drug use knocks the first group out, then money trouble, then a foreign tie that raises a flag, until only the clean files pass, and foreign contacts are their own gate. Close family or financial ties abroad are not automatic blocks, but adjudicators weigh them carefully, especially toward countries treated as adversaries. Honesty about them is everything.
On the skills tier, real certifications do help your packet. Think CompTIA Security Plus, Network Plus, the Certified Ethical Hacker, or even the CISSP. They prove you can hang in the schoolhouse.
So the recruiters say chase certifications, and they do help, but I would push back, because most people just assume stacking certs is the smart move, and they totally skip the one thing that actually decides their...
Hold on. The certs do not matter if your finances tank the clearance.
That is exactly my point, Lewis. And you said it sharper. A wall of certifications cannot rescue a denied clearance. Fix the background first, then chase the certs.
And here's the merciful part of the rule, because the system is not looking for a saint. The review is whole person. An old, honestly disclosed, resolved issue is routinely forgiven. Recency and honesty matter more than a perfect past.
I have watched this play out for years. A single old mistake, owned up to and explained, rarely sinks anyone. What sinks people is the pattern, or the lie that surfaces during the interview.
So the worst thing you can do is hide it. The lie sinks the clearance faster than the thing you were hiding ever would.
Which settles it. The board can forgive a flawed past. It cannot forgive a dishonest present.
So the practical order is clear. Long before you chase a single certification, pull your own credit report, settle your debts, and write down every part of your history honestly. That groundwork is what actually unlocks the cyberforce.
So if you forget every score and every cert from today, remember just this. Guard your clearance first, tell the truth, and any one of those 3 doors will open for you. Let me pull it together. 3 doors into Army Cyber. Enlisted 17C, Warrant 170A, Officer 17A, and 1 gate above them all, the clearance.
My reminder is that money quietly denies more clearances than crime does. Guard your finances like they are part of the application, because they are.
The line I keep is simple. The board can forgive a flawed past. It cannot forgive a dishonest present.
So here is what you can do tonight. Pull your own credit report and write down your door. You just turned a vague dream into a real first step.
And next episode, the one cyber path that quietly pays for your whole degree while you serve. Most recruits never hear about it in time. If this map saved you a wrong turn, please like this video and subscribe, because we chart a different military career field every episode. Here is the question I am leaving with you. Which door are you walking through, enlisted, warrant, or officer? Tell us in the comments, and tell us why. The unexpected analogy is usually the most useful one. Take care.
8.8, May. I would say a 9, but I want you to keep trying harder next time. This is Professor Erica. Thanks for watching and signing off.